Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the podcast. This is the August 27th, 2020 edition of the Dark Illumination Report podcast. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I think you should do when people tell you you either have to be a religious Satanist or you have to be a left-hand path practitioner.
This is the Dark Illumination Report podcast, the official podcast of Shadow Path Diabolism, your daily dose of Diabolonian philosophy to inspire you on your journey down the crooked shadow path. Here's your host, R.J. Womack, Brother Nero.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the podcast. This is R.J. Womack, a.k.a. Brother Nero, and this is the Dark Illumination Report podcast, the podcast where we promote the religious worship of Satan and demons as a serious faith and way of life. And on today's episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to deal with people or how you should approach people who tell you you either have to be a left-hand path kind of atheistic magician or you have to be a devil worshiper. And I think this is very important because one of the things you'll find is that when you challenge the conventional way of thinking or when you challenge the popular concepts of what Satanism is supposed to be or what's popular at the time, you'll have all kinds of people challenge you or come after you or accuse you of stuff. And that goes with the territory. I mean, when I got into this when I was 12 and back in 1982, it was during a time when everybody believed that all devil worshipers, all Satanists, all diabolists were child molesting murderers. And so that's the time that I grew up in. And I stood by my beliefs then and I stand by them now. And so to me, the typical stuff that you deal with on the internet, whether it's trolls, whether it's, whatever people might say, it's nothing compared to that. I mean, because people were genuinely scared of you back then. They were genuinely believed that you were engaged in criminal activity. So, whatever somebody might say about you or whatever you might have to go through in life is really no big deal. So I just want to point out to you guys, whatever you're going through in life, just remember that it's probably not as hard as what some other people are going through. And like I said, I grew up at a time where they really thought that all Satanists, all diabolists, all people who worship the devil were murderers and child molesters. So don't let anybody tell you who you're supposed to be. Don't let anybody tell you what you can believe in. And don't let anybody tell you how you can practice. Because ultimately, the biggest gift that Satan gave us is strength of will, our individuality, our personal freedom. So don't let someone else take that away from you and tell you who you're supposed to be. One of the things we have to do as diabolists, as shadow path diabolists specifically, in this particular tradition, is we have to develop a strength of will, self-discipline, so that we can endure whatever comes our way. And if you're like me and you believe in reincarnation and you believe in that there's more to this life after this life, and you're not some atheist, and you really are a true devotee of the devil, and you really do believe in his kingdom, then you have to realize that whatever circumstances we may find ourselves in, they're just momentary. They're nothing. They're just a blip. They're a small fraction of your existence in the grand scheme of things, in the eternity of things. And that's what I would always tell you to look towards when you start to feel like you're in a situation there's no way out. Just remember, it'll pass. It may be years, it may be weeks, it may be days, but it'll pass. And I especially say that to people who are going through abuse, maybe going through a difficult situation with a family member. Maybe you're a person who's having problems in your marriage or in your relationship, or you have an abusive partner. I would suggest to you that you get out of that relationship as soon as you can. I'm not saying that you should stay there, but just remember, whatever it is you're going through, have the strength of will to go through it, deal with it as best you can until you come out the other side. Because like I said, real diabolists, real followers of Satan, don't give up. They don't quit. They don't surrender. They move forward. They achieve their goals. They overcome the obstacles they face because the gift that Satan gave them, that some people might refer to as the black flame or the forbidden fruit or whatever name you call it, is our individuality and our freedom and our desire to be better, to evolve into something that is better than what we are, to become greater than what we are. And that is what Satan ultimately demands of us, is that we be the best we can be. And what Shadow Path Diabolism is all about is about encouraging people who listen to this podcast to be the best person they can be, so that they can be an instrument not only for themselves and have the best life possible, but to also be an instrument for Satan and his kingdom. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I hope that helps somebody. Take care of yourself, and as always, may Satan be with you. Hope to see you next time. Take care.
If you would like to learn more about the Shadow Path Diabolism tradition of occultism, go to rjwomack.com. That's rjwomack.com. If you enjoyed this podcast and support our message, tell a friend, leave us a review, and follow us on social media.